live and direct on the TruMon Show with my brother Prashant. How are you today?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. How is everything in Canada? Like
Oh,
cold?
it's good. It's good. The spring is coming soon. That's what I've been telling myself since the month of December. Spring is coming. Spring is coming.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah,
winter years are
yeah,
rough a bit. Sometimes we've been
yes,
having a very cold winter,
yeah.
temperatures below -20 often.
Because
So
because that's a very big thing in the world right now. Like the winter is coming. Winter is coming. There is a TV series where it keeps on saying winter is coming. Winter is coming. That's like it's
yeah,
a yeah. So it's like it's a big thing in the world right now. Winter is coming. Winter is coming. Like,
exact. No,
yes.
but today that's it. I think a good way to bring maybe the summer or spring faster is with higher vibration. That higher frequency because I think
Yeah.
that's what we need. We all because yesterday. Why I say that because yesterday I had an experience. I was at the grocery market of hell in Babylon,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
I had my neighbor was there right in front of me at the cash and never acknowledged my presence, never made a smile or nothing. This
Yes.
is what's happening. We don't talk to each other, even between neighbors.
Yes. Yes.
So it's a lot about raising our vibration, and by
Yes.
raising our vibration, not only we bring more love, we bring, by raising the frequency, that's what we're gonna do. But
Yeah.
we gotta network with each other. We gotta start talking to each other. So
Yes.
for someone, my question to you is for someone that is stuck, and sometimes it's just because we don't. I don't see anyone here as losers. It's just you
Mm.
haven't found a way to win, but there's
Yeah.
ways to win. Life wants
Yeah.
you to win. Life
Yeah.
wants you to have a smile on your face. So, how for someone that's stuck to raise their vibration
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
level where you can match others too.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think if people think in terms of not loss or win, it's neither loss nor winning. Like if you are like thinking in those terms, then it's better because then what you can do is actually just improve your own grace. Like the thing is like when people connect with nature as well, the thing they miss is like the grace part. Like it's not just like okay, I'm going connecting in nature. Okay, people think that they're hiking through the trails and then they're connecting with nature, but I mean that becomes like more of an exercise, more of a chore, like like I have to walk this much, or I'm walking through these parts, these are tough parts I'm walking through. It becomes like more of a like a competition with nature than anything to do with actually enjoying it, or being graceful with it, or connecting with it, or sort of having a better feeling with it. So the grace part is very important. Well, when is connecting with anything, the grace has to come. And if people are not being graceful, other manners or other kind of human interactions will automatically suffer. Like it's an automatic product of not being in that state of grace, or like, and that too again comes down to the physical body, which I've been saying in the previous talks, that you have to make sure that you are using your physical tool gracefully, like, and bringing it to grace. Yeah. So
And
yeah.
how do you deal with this? Like when you go trot Babylon, that's what I call it. When you go out in the world, you
Yeah.
have higher vibration, you have
Yeah.
higher perspective. But higher, I don't like to put it on a pedestal. Sometimes
Higher
you
means,
have
yes, higher is a good word. It's not a bad word. Yeah, it's
okay, okay.
it's levels. There are higher levels, there are lower
But the
levels.
higher levels of
Yeah,
vibration, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
how do you interact with the with? Because I think what I tell myself: always treat people as good as you are, not as bad as they are.
yeah, yeah. I
So
mean, it's
how,
it's
how
it's.
do you cope with
I
all
mean,
these?
the thing is that I
Hold
mean,
on,
like first
hold on,
thing is
hold on, Prashant. Because sometimes it's hard, to really get in touch. Like you can have a conversation with someone, but to have a deep conversation, like that's what we research. Like when I meet someone, I want to have a deep talk, not just like talk about the sports on TV or stuff. You know what I mean? So
yes, yes.
that's it.
Okay, okay. The thing is that is like you can't force anything on anyone, right? If a person doesn't want to talk about something, like you can't force like you have to talk about it, go deeper, or like like you have to deal with beings as at the level what they are wanting to be dealt at. Like, I mean, and because you can't really like force your that thing onto them, that okay, like you have to like do this or that thing. It's just like when people face something in the world, or they automatically become more open. like something happened to you, then you became more open. Something might happen to someone which they become more open, like. But what people have to come to that state first where they are actually open to communication like that. And that's what I mean. I think enough people, enough beings right now are opening up in that way. So we shouldn't have that kind of problem where, where nobody's there, like where you whom you can talk to. It's complete isolation, like, as you can say, like some complete isolation. I mean, even if it's a planet or like a Earth or where nobody responds to your level of vibration, or nobody is at that thing, and nobody can that thing, it's fine. I mean, to me, it's fine. I mean, you can be like that yourself. Okay, it's not a problem if everybody else is not on that same page as you. Okay, but one has to develop that thing within oneself where one is able to cope with that internal coherence and internal will, so that where one doesn't get depressed about that. Okay, or feel isolated, or feel like, oh, I can't get through this. Okay, what do I do? Like, like I'm feeling like trapped and imprisoned. It should not happen, because what happens is when you raise your state higher, you get a state of bliss within. Okay, so that state of bliss within carries you through anything. In the Babylon thing can't bring you down. Okay, like it's a thing, like it's a state which you have to develop within yourself, so that all these external things don't bring you down, because there's a lot of things they're put out here which can irritate you and bring you down. And the way the people and everything, every time you look at anywhere, like, there's ugliness everywhere, there's this
That's what I
hell
think.
everywhere. So yeah.
It's pretty much
Yeah,
99, I think 99% of the stuff on the outside doesn't really matter because it's an inside game.
yes. And the thing is, like, once you are going inside and stuff, and you're getting your own bliss and stuff, you have to understand that this is your own journey out of hell. Okay, and if there are other beings who have not had enough of hell as yet, okay, which is like, maybe at some point they will, everybody will at some point have had enough of it. Like, there is limits. Different beings have different limits to how much they can handle of it. Like, some people can handle the WWF kind of thing as well, or some people cannot. Like, it's different limits people have, and they will, obviously, when it gets deeper and becomes more, because in time it'll only go more. Like I'm saying, if you don't do anything about it, things are only going to go the other way. So, like, it's your own journey. And when you are running out of hell yourself, then you are running, right? You are running and you're running. Okay, and that time you can't think about anything. Who else, what else? Like, you just really can't, like, because you are running out of it yourself. So that uh it takes most of your attention and your consciousness
It
to
does. It
just
does. It's like running on a track that you don't look behind, you look straight forward, and you keep running out of hell.
yeah,
Then every day you get a higher vibration. And I think that's what also can, in part, like just a smile can put away the evil vibes. Just a
yeah,
smile, just a
yeah,
positive vibe. It's
yeah,
not because it's a, but it's a force that's there. I know it. I know
yeah,
it. I've been into
yeah,
this realm of hell for a long time. Now I'm running out of hell, but I think it's really there. But
yeah,
is it something like really an inculcation, an indoctrination, or it's simply the fact that we believe things? We have a certain sense of certainty about some stuff, and
yeah,
then we don't question it. We don't,
yeah,
because when you have a belief, you don't question the stuff you believe.
yeah.
So is that an inculcation over our heads, or is it really the fact that we believe, our ego is so huge that we believe, we think we know, and
Yeah.
then we wake up one day in this dream of hell and we realize we don't know that, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, obviously, the belief thing which you were talking about, the belief is a very, very, that thing, again, which I said, like, people can have, we have heard some sentence like, no pain, no gain. Okay. So then that thing, no pain, no gain, then people believe that. Okay. Like, it's a thing which, okay. So then I think majority of the people out here are functioning on that basis, like, no pain, no gain. Okay. Like, so it's a very, very strong programming which is there in the brain. Like, so, like, people don't think that, okay, but no pain, no gain is a hell programming. It's not a heaven programming. Okay. So, like, it's not, so it's obviously it's necessary for keeping beings trapped in this lower, that thing, that obviously pain will happen. Now, how do you explain pain to people? You'll say, okay, no pain, no gain. Pain is for your gain. Okay. You have to give them some carrot. Okay. At the end of it, at the end of the pain, you have to give them some carrot. Like, like, okay, this, you'll get something, you'll gain something from the pain. Okay. When you're not, like, you'll just gain more pain. Like, pain, then gain of more pain. Like, so it's a cycle like that which carries on like that, and people take time to realize that, like a lot of beings take time to realize that, oh, this carrot is not coming to me, like, like, so that's when the programming will, at some one point they'll question it, and the programming will have to break, like, because
Yeah, because we're pretty much into a pain and pleasure. It's either
yeah,
and you
yeah,
can transform those pain and pleasure
yeah,
into something very empowering too. You don't have to let it destroy you. Some people have pleasure. Our heart desire almost kill us. Also, we have to be very very conscious, because our heart desire sometimes
yeah. I
is
mean,
very very yeah.
I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, most people, like, I mean, some people, like, and there's, all, that's why all this meat eating and the vibration which is there, which is coming from that, the killing the animals and stuff, eating them and stuff like that, which is automatically creates that, like, thing within, and, that violence within, that violence. And, that's why in music also, they always use these violins in the orchestras, the violin, okay, violence, okay, okay. And I mean, that's a very annoying sound, when you screech something on a string and you, it's like nails on a chalkboard kind of sound. And
Yeah,
and
that's true.
yeah,
Never thought of it.
it is, they put it like a whole lot, like, and that thing, and they, all the movie soundtracks, all of them, they always have this, violent thing and the violence, like, and so then it becomes a cycle where people are trapped in that. Okay, and they know, to get out of that, they'll have to take a step, that first step of not, like, okay, either not eating meat or not being part of that, you know like that things. I mean, tomorrow itself, if everybody stopped, like, killing animals on the earth, and everybody, okay, like, I mean, just one thing, like, from the whole, people will, like, completely change the whole situation out here, like, just one little thing, like it's not that thing. So these things, obviously, there has to be, and there are things, obviously, from the top, which don't want that to happen. We don't want people to evolve, people don't want beings to rise up, so there are forces like that. Okay, but finally, it's individual choice. You will, within yourself, take a choice, each being, which way you want to go, and then accordingly you will face the
Yeah,
consequences.
because
Yeah,
if we talk about forces, that's very
yeah,
interesting, because there's like two forces at work. I don't know if it's really true. I
yeah,
think there's one forces at work that's a divine force. That's what I think. I
mm,
think evil and devil, it's in our heads, but
yeah.
is it really a force? Do you think it's really a force at work to keep us dumbed down and to keep us in low vibration, or we can
I
really
mean,
tap in the divine vibes like very easily, or we have that force on us, that
okay, the
dark
force is
side
not.
of us?
The force is very sort of human only. Like the force which I am talking about, like which keeps, like it's just like a, how people like to keep some people down or enslaved, or like it, whatever these things, like these negative qualities which are within beings itself. Those can be within anybody, or like, like those things are there. Like, people don't like to lose something. Like if they get to some position, like if some families got to some position somewhere, then they don't want to lose that position. So for that, they are willing to do anything in order to sort of keep that position up. Like it's just that thing. You got into some. That's what people see in everywhere. Like in a corporate world, only there's like people get to certain chair and then they don't want to leave that chair. Like, so there's all kinds of things which keep on happening. Like it's just a question of these positions and stuff, which is again a very very funny thing. Like those things should not be there in the first place, but they have been made up over the last 500 or 1,000 years. And so mostly it's about keeping the status quo in that way, and for that people are doing just things which are called negative things to maintain that, even if it makes no sense. Like, so it's just a question of like, okay, I'm in that position, I will not that thing, because it's working for me, like right now, if anybody is like the prince or the crown prince of any European families or royalty or whatever, I mean, then they don't want to obviously give away their privileges and their you you see what I mean? Like, like you can, yeah, yeah,
Often we say also that the blind are leading the blinds. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
this is something that I been questioning a lot, because I
yeah,
don't think they're that blind to put that kind of vibration here and to control humanity like that, and to stick together in secret societies and all kinds of government and palace and stuff.
Yeah.
You're not that blind. I mean, they do you think that these, I don't like to
Yeah, I mean,
refer to
the
them
point is
as
like
them,
it
but
becomes see, it becomes bigger than the individual. Okay, whenever groups are formed, okay, it becomes bigger than the individual. Okay, like see, in group work, which is called brotherhoods or brotherhood of this or brotherhood of that or whatever they are formed, then the individuals lose their own sense of right and wrong. You know, you are part of that. Now you're going to do what is demanded or required by this particular thing, and you lose your own sense of whether this is the right thing to do or wrong thing to do. Okay, and you're just part of that because by being part of that, you always gain benefits. Okay, like even I mean, in a small level, like if somebody's Beatles, like Beatles are 4 people, right? So like now 4 people they call it a group, right? Now once you are in the group, like you are making a whole lot of this thing, you're making a lot of money, you're making all of this thing, because you're in that group now. Okay, so even if there's a whole thing goes totally not as you want, you'll just want to be part of it, so just you keep on getting the benefits of being in it rather than getting out of that's I'm just saying it at a very small level. So when you take it to a bigger level where the groups are much bigger, and then it becomes a matter of the individual thing just dies down in that completely. And that's why all these like wrong things or such nonsensical things keep on happening, because the individual sense of right and wrong is completely demolished and utterly demolished in these groups, like
I
yes.
think that's really what's happening because
Yeah.
also you look
Yeah.
at a country like Canada, they do a war overseas and stuff. Like they go invade many countries, just like US.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't do that myself. Like the
Yeah.
unconsciousness of the whole is always more potent than the individuals. Like an individual, like I would not press the button to to launch a bomb on another country.
Yes.
But the guy that leads that supposedly country would do it very easily because the whole is behind him. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is, first there is no button, and all of that is a joke. Like, I
No,
mean, there
but
is,
I mean,
but I'm saying like there is no like that is not connected even outside of that table. Like there is no wires going anywhere from there. Okay, I mean it's just a show. Like, but my point is that yeah, like the thing is that individuals definitely are like the individuation, the process of individuation. They don't want it to happen, because that's where it keeps up the mass consciousness going. Because once the individuation process starts, you get your own sense of right and wrong from the nature, from the multiverse. You get the sense of the real law and the real thing. Then you will not respect this man-made laws or man-made nonsense or any of these things. So then you turn into a real individual. Okay, and that's where obviously that is discouraged. Okay, because then you will have, you'll wake up, you'll be the like that person who's woken up and stuff like that, and then you can't be controlled, and you won't buy into any of this, this strange group work which is happening. And because in the group no one questions what the motive is, like what is the sort of let's say, what do you expect to gain, what is the goal. In the group no one questions the goal, like what is the final goal of this thing. Why am I doing this? Okay, what will happen to me or the collective as a whole through this? Like they don't question any of these things in a group. Like, okay, and whatever their goals are, okay, world domination. No, okay, I mean, you can dominate the world, then what will you do with the world domination? No, you've got it dominated. Now what? I mean domination for what? Like, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? I mean, if the whole thing is sort of not sustainable, then you will not be dominating for very long. The whole structure will crumble anyways. You know, unless it's based on nature's principles, the whole structure is going to come down anyways. What are you going to rule? You're going to rule like something which is already destroyed. Like right now, I mean, most people in the West, in America, they are on, antidepressants and stuff. Anyways, just to function in their day-to-day lives and that thing. So, I mean, already that means it's not functioning in a human way anymore. Okay, it's like these chemicals and these external things are required just for people to carry on living, like just living. Like I'm saying, just plain existing. Okay, so my point is that, like, if that is there, that means it's already crumbling. Like that means you are already in a situation where you are not in any kind of that thing. I mean, there's no point ruling the place where everybody's sick and everybody's in hospitals. Okay, if let's say everybody goes to the hospital, then what? I mean, how are you going to run something? I mean, there's no possibility of anything running. So they're coming across a brick wall now, basically where they're whatever they have been doing is making things so bad that no one will be able to function at all. Okay, so then what are you going to rule? Like dead bodies, zombies, like what? Like, and completely like, mental patients. Will you throw everyone into a mental asylum? Like,
It's okay.
what is? Yeah,
We'll launch a car around the earth, a sports car flying around the earth, and we'll be okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
that's what they do. They it's getting so ridiculous. That's the thing. I think
yeah,
one day it's meant to fall, that whole thing, because it's getting so ridiculous. Now they have
yeah.
a car, a sports car, sitting with a guy. It's so ridiculous. Like I was saying the other day, there's stuff I can imagine
Mm,
doable, like put yourself in a rocket and go into outer space if it exists. Like it's
mm.
something I could imagine, go into a spacesuit, but come on, a car. Like it's getting so ridiculous how they make fun of the whole. Like it's
Yeah, yeah. But the
beyond.
point is like the common worker, the common masses, the people at the ground level, they are in a very bad situation now. Okay, like when I say like where like either people are not able to exist anymore, and there's too much that thing. Like there is a basic thing required, a level required for people to function on Earth. Okay, there's a basic line which is there, and one has to like, and obviously the beings which are in sort of like this sort of control of this sort of nonsense out here, the matrix, they don't understand that once that basic line goes below that line, everything goes down, they go down along with it. you know it's like a situation which is not sustainable in that way. It'll just be brought down. You cannot carry on like in that kind of way. So that's obviously like whenever they realize that, that's where they make up things like new age, was made up so that people get some hope. Okay, and people get some, and they create these sort of outlets as well, but those outlets are also controlled outlets, which they expect hope to control that awakening as well. If they come to know people are awakening, or beings are getting awakening, anything like, so they want to control that awakening too. Okay, it should not go this much, or it should not go like, it should go in this direction. We'll somehow manage this in that way. So that's what I see happening with the new age movement and everything. To all people who were awakening in America or in the West, they became part of that, and again it sent them into a fantasy ride of absolute fantasy, without any grounding, without any reality, without any that thing. So then you can obviously actually sabotage people's awakening as well, and which is what has happened online and in YouTube. I've been seeing for the last 10 years, like like this has been happening before that through the new age movement. Yeah,
Yeah, that's happening live and direct on YouTube. The sabotage also, I can see
yeah,
it just like
yeah,
you. That's why.
yeah,
Also, I think like what we do here, me and you,
yeah,
I know I have a responsibility. It's not to create more confusion
yeah,
and nonsense. It's to be
yeah.
very present, very conscious, and that's what I'm trying to be. I'm trying my best. Again,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not like, I think the body is crafted to perfection. Do you think there's a way that we can get that soul, that spirit, that brain to operate perfect here, like the body?
Obviously, like the body obviously has so many things which people don't understand. People don't understand what tool they have got. Okay,
Exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the thing. We're gonna get there to the body technology and all that.
yeah. Because body has a thing which people don't understand what body is. Like human body is a very, very, let's say, it's a stronger equipment than all of CERN and all of like this. The thing they have made up in that thing. What do they call that? There's a harp.
Yeah.
They keep on harping about harp, this harp and sun and all these machines which they built up. Human body is much more sophisticated, more powerful machine than all of these machines put together. Like if you take every machine on earth and you put it together, and human body is still more sophisticated than all of that. Okay, but people just don't understand that. Okay, so that's why they don't have faith in their own body. They have more faith in their cell phone or mobile phone or like little gadgets like that. They don't. It's like not having faith in your own tool. Like, okay, like that's the number one, obviously. Like so like when you don't have that, then you obviously will get caught up in other things. You'll find your computer games more exciting. because you think that, yeah, there's something great going on out there, but the point is, like, if you found that, looking at the body yourself inside, you'll find much more greater things are happening there. But obviously, there is a distinct lack of faith in the human body amongst people, which is why it is being mistreated so much, and which is why people don't even do the ABCD of trying to use it properly, because there is just no faith in it. People treat their body like in a very, very bad way. Like, it's a, and that's the basic, and that's what these people want. Like they want, like, because they know that no power is going to come until you treat the human, like, body properly. Like, there is nothing's
And
going to happen.
and the program we're under, because I don't even think it's a brainwash. I think it's just a program. We're being programmed. That
Yeah,
program doesn't want us to go inside too much. Like
yeah,
at the beginning, like go back 10 years ago, you would have told me, go inside of yourself and you'll find the truth. I would have laughed.
yes,
I would have
yes,
laughed like I would have said, okay, what there is inside. But
yeah,
today I know the meaning of this. It's all
yeah,
within us.
yeah.
And but you get that meaning once you experience it. You gotta have that feeling, and also.
Okay, and I think for that, connecting with nature is the first sort of step. Once you connect with nature more, then you will understand your body more too, because then you'll understand, okay, my body is also made of nature, and nature can do all these things. So then my body must be able to do things too. Like, okay, like, you will get a sense of the body thing. Like, and the thing is that most people are very, like, since their birth, they are like, very ashamed of their bodies, and they're very, that thing, like, okay, like, I don't have this, or I don't have that, like, they,
Oh,
so they don't. Yeah,
people think they're not beautiful enough, or not pretty, or not
yeah,
handsome enough to do anything. We're
yeah,
all beautiful. We're
yeah,
all
yeah, I mean,
beautiful.
but but they don't understand the physical body. It's not a matter of that, it can be used properly. you know any being can use their body with grace. Okay, nothing from outside is stop making you experience grace within your body. Okay, like, there's nothing, and the body you have right now is the result of your past actions. Okay. Okay. Okay, so
I like that one.
yeah, okay, so it's a result of your own actions. It's not no one else's actions. Okay, like, so now you have brought it to this. No, so then you have to, if you want to improve things, you have to do the right actions now. Okay, that's where the present is. That's what is called the present. You do actions in the present. So then you make your own future, because finally you make your future by your actions in the present. That's how you make your future. Okay, and the future is not a pre-decided thing for anybody. So, like, that's why people have free will and free actions in the present to make whatever. And that's where the whole coming to the body and the basics of the body and making them more important, I think would solve a lot of things, like addictions, this like reliance on computer games. And these days kids, they are always continuously just playing games on their mobile, and that thing, like, continuously at it. Like, that's how the situation with kids is even these days. I mean, all these things are there because kids are not taught, okay, like, look, your body is much more than a computer game. Okay, like, it's got much more stuff than that. Like, like, so all addictions like alcohol or anything can be taken away if people put attention to their body, start treating it properly, witnessing its magical properties, like which you can do it yourself and stuff, like all of that. Once you start doing that, then it'll become much more interesting to you than anything. Like, when you get to the chakra level and stuff, obviously, which is obviously a more advanced level, but even at the beginning level, like, you will see things which will slowly guide you towards understanding that this is more of a magical thing, what you have, than any magic of technology outside. So yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that the first step is really to reconnect with nature, reconnect with your body.
yeah,
That's what happened in my case. There's a change that's gonna happen, and the change starts by the way you communicate with yourself. And at one point, I seen myself 300 pounds. I said, "Whoa, there's something wrong here." So
yes,
but I was proud before I realized that that wasn't the right weight
yeah,
for me. I come on, I was proud of my weight. I was like, I'm carrying it good, and you fall into cognitive dissonance. But once
yeah,
I really faced the number 298 on the scale, and I said, I gotta lose weight now. I'm getting chest pain.
yes,
So
yeah, but it's
I said
but
I have to lose weight. So from that point, I think I've started to get back to my body technology. No?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, it's not even just a number on the scale. It's what you're actually feeling with your body. That's what's more important. Okay, what the number says or any scale, or that is not the important thing. It's like, once you feel what you feel with your body, that is more important. Like you started feeling chest pains, or it's the pain or whatever, like you're carrying this bulk. Now you have to carry it, like it's like carrying this huge weight yourself, and every time, like, so the discomfort of it, and that thing which you will have to experience, which nobody else is experiencing, only you are experiencing. Okay, so like, when it's only you who is experiencing that thing, then you will do something about it. Okay, like that's where, like, the sense of responsibility lies. I mean, that's where they teach people, no, responsibility doesn't lie with you. It lies with something. It lies with your parents. It lies with the society. It lies with the government. It lies with somebody else. Like, there is already somebody you can blame. People blame all kinds of things. My parents were like this. That's why I'm like this. Like, I mean, people say these kind of things. Like, I was born in this, like, society, and the society is like this. That's why I'm like this. Okay, or the government is not doing anything. Like, that's why the thing is like this. Like, I mean, finally you have to take responsibility for yourself. Okay, and none of these people or beings, whether it's your parents, I mean, if your parents don't know anything, like, what is good for themselves, how will they know what's good for you? I mean, so you cannot put the blame on them, because they didn't know what was good for them even. So, like, how can they know what's good for you? I mean, that cannot exist in any being. Like, I mean, so it's like not pushing blame into the other things, and taking responsibility for yourself, which is a very important thing for, I think, normal people, like, to, before they go into like, what is gravity, what is not, what is this thing, what is not, and all these kind of like, I would call secondary, tertiary matters. Okay, like, because that's the thing, like, these are secondary, tertiary matters. Like, I mean, if you don't have some basics down pat with your own self and body, I mean, you're not ready to, you don't have discretion to tell things between these things and stuff like that. You're just chomping on a, like, you're just drinking a lot of Pepsi and sitting on a computer watching a lot of video films and YouTube and stuff like that. I mean, and your head is going like this. Google is making you googly eyed, like, and you are just like in this. I mean, you are like not fit for doing that, and that's, you're not qualified. There's a word called qualified. Okay, which people don't like these days. Okay, everybody thinks they're qualified for everything. Okay, these people think they're qualified, like, qualified for traveling, they're qualified for doing this, they're qualified for doing that. Like, people think they're qualified, but you are not actually. And that's another ego thing they've built up in people, that they make people feel like they can do anything, and they, I mean, instead of the other thing, like, some people obviously suffer from depression and other things, but that is afterwards, because once they go by this thing and they find they can't do something, and that's when they get depressed. Because they were not actually ready to do that thing, but they tried to do that thing and they failed, and then they get depressed. Okay, so if you knew that from the beginning, you will not attempt that kind of thing, or neither would you get depressed about it. Like, so if you're more practical and realistic as a being, the more practical and realistic you are, the less depressed or that thing you will be. Like, that's the
depression for our society is like easy also to know why we're depressed, like you say. I think also I can interpret it. We can't get enough of what we don't want. We can't get enough of what we don't want. Like, we don't need all that shit that's happening, all that publicity, but we can't get enough. It's coming, and we're also pouring more in. Like, we're an active part in all this. It's not just daily. We can say day, but we are an active part of this matrix.
It's me.
To realize it and take responsibility, because the moment you start taking responsibility for your life, also you start pulling away from that matrix. You start moving away from it. Unconsciously or not, the moment you start raising your vibration, that whether you know all the stuff, like you say, external gravity and all this, even if you don't know anything, everything, but no, again, it's a big word. Even if you don't have a sense of feeling of what's going on the outside, you still can wake up. Let's start to wake up.
Yes. And the thing is, like, you stay in Canada, so you know about the whole thing, like America, Canada, like, the aisles and aisles are full of millions of things. Like, when you walk into a supermarket, like, there are millions of, like,
the grocery market of hell.
There's thousands of, like, things of like there's like a particular sauce, there are hundreds of sauces and millions of that things, and but none of them are edible. Nothing you can actually eat, but there's so many of things which are not edible, but which are there, which but for your consumption. But there are millions and millions of those things, like, so instead of having one thing you can actually consume, you have a million things you cannot consume, like so that's like that's because people they give a people illusion of like plenty and choice, like you have a lot of choice now, choice, and this thing of plenty, you have plenty of plenty, but none of that choice and plenty is real, like it's not actual food. Okay, like it's not like real food or anything like that. So I mean, real food, even if it's one or two where you don't have many choices, you can have 4 or 5 foods, that is good enough, where like if it is actual food, rather than having these millions of things which have no that thing, like which only do harm to your body finally, which again the equipment which we were talking about before, like your equipment, and that's the whole thing. But each being, no, but a being can say like, I don't know anything, okay, and from that point I can start to just learn what to feed myself, or what to that thing, or just to be proper with my body, and you can try and learn that, whatever in this world teaches that. To me, like it was clear that the Vedic thing had that thing, the ancient Vedic thing teaches how to like deal with your body equipment. Okay, so wherever the knowledge is, you can try and find out, and just that basic knowledge and apply it to your own body and self, okay, first, rather than like going into all these different things which you are not prepared or ready for at the moment, like so like that's what. Yeah.
But it's easy to say the grocery market of hell and everything, but every time I go in there, I have problem to resist the temptation. Like I love potato chips, so I know it's no good for me, but I love them, and I
Yeah.
always have problem to resist. So how do you build this immunity against this Babylon nonsense? There's a million stuff we don't need.
Oh,
Like there's stuff I don't buy. I know
okay.
it's not good for me, but there's
Okay.
stuff like bar of chocolate, or the stuff that we're used
Okay.
to
Okay.
since we're young. How do
I,
you completely
I,
eradicate that? Not that I consume them every day, but it's the temptation. It's it's there, and it's all over you, and they put
it's
colors on it. That's the next thing we're gonna come to my subject. We're gonna start my paper. We haven't even started yet.
okay.
But the next thing is the colors, because you go in the supermarket of hell and there's all kinds of colors, and the packaging has to be really freaking appealing for you to you don't eat what's inside, you eat the packaging.
Yes. Yes. Okay, and that's where I'll explain to you how to get over that kind of thing, like which is the actual way which you will not even have to sort of close your senses, you'll actually have to open up your senses. Okay. Okay, like if you have a good food, for example, if someone actually gives you alive proper nice food, like really nice good food, and you eat that food one time, okay, after that you won't find those things nice. Once you have had a proper meal or a proper food or proper that thing, your taste buds will not like those things. That's, and then your let's say your sense of taste will become more refined. Okay, the refinement will occur. Okay, the same with your eyes and stuff, like whatever they are showing you in these like packaging and everything, which is appealing to you right now. Once you got a different eyes, once you have seen many sunsets, once you have seen many proper that things, then that will not become appealing to you. It'll look like crazy, and it'll look over the top, it'll look gaudy, all these terms like gaudy, it'll look not appealing to you once you have seen enough sunrises and sunsets. Okay, like, okay, I mean, so then your eyes become more refined. Okay, once you eat proper food, your sense of taste becomes more refined. Once you have had some proper smells of natural flowers and stuff, then your sense of smelling becomes more refined. Then if you have any of these colognes and stuff, whatever they sell, like the natural stuff, you'll find it sort of not good. Like you'll feel like, oh, I have to run away from this. This doesn't smell good. Like you'll automatically say, this doesn't smell good, this doesn't taste good, this doesn't, it's automatic. Okay, you don't even have to try. Like, your senses automatically refine themselves, when you start having the right things. Okay, but the only thing is, the right thing is not available in the West mostly. That's where the problem is. Like in terms of food, okay, in terms of sunsets, that is available. Okay, sunrise, sunset, you can refine your eyes. After that, anything, all these packaging and stuff will not because it's not like the sky or it's not like that thing. It's the opposite of that. Okay, so then you automatically are that thing. But in terms of food and stuff, like enough proper food and like thing is not available in the West. Like in the West, when people eat the pizza, for example, or like in America, or they eat the cardboard box which it comes in, it's the same taste. Okay, there's not much difference between the two. Like in the cooking and stuff, real food and cooking and stuff is not happened in the West. Okay, like it's not okay, it's not part of it. Like anything, like and everything they make it processed and they make it that thing. And so once you have had proper, like if I was born in India and I've had proper food, okay, like so if I come to the West and I eat the things, it automatically doesn't taste good to me. So like for me, it doesn't have, I don't have to create some sort of special that thing aversion against those things. It's just a question of refinement of your like taste buds. Like that's all it is. And with nature, you can do that refinement all the time, because in nature you can go and smell the flowers or whatever, jasmine or like frangipani or these flowers. Once you have smelled those properly, you will not like any deodorant smell or any of these things automatically. Like it's a process when you
I
connect
think,
more to natural things. Yeah.
yeah, it's a process to get there. I'm
Yeah.
getting there more and more. More raw food in your diet, more colors in your plate too. Also, it helps
Yeah.
you to see because the colors, again, that's something I wanted to talk about, because there's beautiful colors in this nature for sure. And I think the most beautiful colors you can find, it's on birds. Birds have beautiful natural colors.
Yeah.
Again, there's people colorblind that don't see colors, but most of us see the colors. So
Yeah.
what is the meaning? Why do they? Because the orange is very, very powerful, I think, the orange. And a
Yeah.
lot of colors have been taken by powers that be, or
Yeah, but
whatever, the people that
they
want to.
made it more plastic. They made it more plasticky.
Yeah,
Okay.
exact.
They made it more plasticky, but plasticky is not appealing to a human being. Like the plasticky color is not actually appealing, because once you, even the oranges in the West and stuff, they are not real oranges. Okay. They are just processed. Like they are big things and they're shiny and that thing and stuff. Like anything I've seen in the West, like it's not real. Like, okay, like it's, if you look at the actual real fruit, where in like tropical countries or wherever you go, like in India and stuff, you will find it's very small. They very looks very different. It tastes much better. It tastes much sweeter, and everything is like actually different taste. So some people have not had actual like a lemon, for example, like a nimbu, like a small, like because people are using that big lime and stuff, so they don't know what even like a lemon tastes like. They have no idea. Like so all these things, like when you go actually taste the things, real things, and the berries even or whatever, then only you come to know what the real tastes are, and the colors also, like they have made them like like McDonald colors, which I told you last time and stuff like that, plasticky, more plasticky, and that thing, wrappers, everything. But those colors are on a bad taste. They're not in a good taste. Like like, so your sense of seeing, like just like I thought, like by seeing sunsets and stuff, the kind of colors you see, you don't see that colors on people's clothes, or you don't see them in any of these places and stuff like that, artificial, plasticky kind of thing. So you automatically move away. Like even if what you have put the chakra designs here, these are more lighter colors, pastel colors, like that things. So if someone looks at them for a while, then after that their eyes will tune to that, and then if they see that other color, they'll be like, oh no, I don't want that, automatically. So it's a question of just paying attention and putting time onto the right things instead of the wrong things for even a little bit, and then your senses automatically realign themselves to the point where you don't like that automatically anymore. Yeah.
And color, we can talk about the rainbow also. I see
Yeah.
you often with rainbows and stuff. And
I mean, that is just, that is just a creation. Like if I feel like a certain way, or if I play something, then it'll happen. Okay, I have had thousands of rainbows, like, and I've documented them, because then people will say, oh, you're just saying that, like it's not there. Okay, that's why I document them, because people always say that, like, oh, you're just saying that, otherwise, like, and because rainbow is like the visible spectrum. This is the what I see. All the everything which we see in this world is within the 7 colors of the rainbow. That's the main visible spectrum of this particular construct we are in right now. Okay, so
yeah, but
that, yeah,
that the rainbow becomes very interesting to talk about, because there's not only the colors of the rainbow but the shape of it.
Yeah, the
Like,
bow.
yeah,
Yeah.
what does that mean to you, that arch
Yeah.
shape?
Okay, that's that's like nature's bow. Like like you have a arrow and bow. Like that's why it's called a bow, because it's bow shaped. Okay, like so you are shooting.
Rainbow.
Yeah, yeah, bow.
Okay,
Like that's why
yeah,
it's
yeah,
bow.
yeah.
Like and it's like and the bowing, which was the thing where you bow to the master or that thing. That's
Yeah, yeah,
also
yeah, yeah,
it is
yeah.
related to that as well. Like bowing, the bow, like all these things are the same word. You know just like so if you say I bow like to someone and that thing to so then that is the shape for the nature, because it's a heart thing. Sense of gratitude, for example, is a sense of bowing only, like which is the word gratitude comes from great attitude. Okay. Okay. Okay, so
That's very good.
it's
Gratitude,
having the
great
right attitude,
attitude.
having the correct
Wow.
attitude towards things. So nature shows what a bowing and all of that is to the elements, because there are elements are the five things which are called the gods. They in the Vedic things, they're the five gods. Okay, but then they are beings which are beyond them, so they bow to them, to those beings which are beyond them, and then those beings have beings beyond them, and there is a whole hierarchical chain, starting with the elements which are around us, the punch, the five Mahabhuts, which is what everything is made up of here. And so, like a rainbow in the nature is a representation of everything that is good in that way, which is evolving, which is taking you higher, which is which is the best of this world. It's the most like let's say like refined and texturally, like in everything which way, like taking you towards higher vibration. you know that's why, because rainbow only happens where the air actually gets fractal. Okay, it's called phi air. Okay, phi is golden ratio air. That's a basic term for fairies. Okay, phi air e, phi air e is fairy. Okay.
Yeah, I get
Okay,
you.
so where air actually becomes fractal, so that's where rainbow happens at that time. It's a particular, which fractality has to happen in your heart. Okay, the same thing. Okay, so that inside makes that outside. Okay. Okay, so people have to understand the elementals and the whole terms like fairies and stuff, which is there in the West, but they don't understand what the term actually means. That is
It's a
phi.
projection. It's
Yeah,
like a projection from the source, same as
yeah,
what the sun seems to be, a
yeah,
projection from the
yeah,
source.
yeah. And because in nature everything is going towards phi ratio, and that thing, and fairies do exist, and they exist around the rainbows. But just because you can't see them, okay, because we can't see everything, we only see a very little bit. you know Okay, so
There's
people have to
that
understand.
part too. There's only so much the eyes can meet. So
Yeah,
there's stuff we don't see, that
99% we
I'm
don't see.
sure we would be astonished if we could see everything, all the frequencies here. We would probably
99% we don't see. Only
exact.
1%.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, first people have to, like, whenever people dismiss everything as like this is all mythology and these are the stories and all of that, like that's a programming people have, when all these things are real, everything is real. Like everything from ancient mythology and everything is realogy. That's why I call myth to be myth. My is my, th is truth. My truth or logy. Like, it's not mythology. My, like, so they're taking my truth, which is the real truth, which is the real fact. So whatever is in the ancient things is actual fact and stuff. Whatever has happened in the last 500 years or 1,000 years, 2,000 years is nonsense. That, so people have to understand that, like, and put their trust in that thing more. And once you put it in that, you will find out that it is real as you go on and on. And that, even the flat earth or everything was, that's what the ancients called it. So people are rediscovering ancient stuff only, like, right now, like, it's, yeah,
that's what I
yeah,
say. It's
yeah,
always been there. The Earth's always been there. It's always
yeah,
been the same plane. The sun
yeah,
always shine the same. Like it's just us. we're opening our eyes to, we're waking up the baby, opening our eyes to life and realizing these things. But it's always been there. Like the earth has never changed. It hasn't changed for one day to another. So it's
yeah,
just us. No, I think we're
yeah,
really, really
yeah,
very unconscious of what's going on, and we're
yes,
waking up. But that's a question I wanted to ask you before. Do you think, for sure, you have a sense of change inside of you, but sometimes we go out and well, sometimes I go, there's days I'm very, very positive, there's change happening, but sometimes also there's stuff happening that I'm saying it's getting worse than ever, just like that car flying now around that fake ball earth that they suppose they have, like it's
yeah.
getting worse. Like, do you think this world eventually will change? Like, I don't think the police will go and the stuff like that, because that's but I don't think it's absolutely necessary if we get to a state of mind, that proper state of mind.
Yeah,
But again, how do we like, it seems to be such a long run to change the whole thing, so do you think it's doable?
right. Like, I mean, what I've seen, like in the like that thing in the last 10 years, even this last 10 years. Okay, I mean, like thousands and like say millions of people have become vegetarian. Okay, that's a fact. Okay, like in the West even. Okay, this has happened, right? Okay, it has happened. They call become vegan and whatever you want call it. Like they have become this, and like that has happened. Okay, last 10 years. This last 10 years. Okay, now a lot of things have happened. Like like people have come to know the truth. Like the NASA is a hoax, and this is a hoax, and this is all of that. Okay, so people's faith overall in the institutions and the governments and all of that is dwindling. Okay, like okay, so as a whole, like more and more people wake up, the more and more it will happen, and like all we have to do is like wait for things to get viral. That's a term these days, that things in the internet, what do they go viral, right? Okay, but mostly crap goes viral. Okay, okay, so there'll be soon a time where some important stuff will go viral too. Okay, because the thing is in place, so it's just a matter of like when the spark is there, and some those things will go viral too. Like it's a thing. Like I mean, like more has happened in last 10 years in terms of that thing than what happened in last 200 years in terms of awakening, in terms of numbers, in terms of anything. Like so obviously things are on a fast moving thing, and as time goes on in the future, things will fasten up even more. It's only going to get quicker. Speed is only going to increase. Okay, like some people might not be able to keep pace with the speed because of the quickening. It's called the quickening. Okay, there's a quickening happening, and there has to be a quickening, and some people like who are already sort of awake and aware will keep pace with otherwise there will be like some will be left behind. But the point is that change is happening now. Okay, and it cannot be stopped. Okay, and so there will be like a critical mass, through the whole thing, like and like whatever, like I'm talking these things right now was not possible 10 years ago. Like so there is different things which are happening now which have brought people to that point where they can be receptive to even these kind of things like right now, because like even 9/11 was such a big thing in America for Americans. So like after that they came to know that this was a like an inside job, and then just that opened up a lot of people to different things and whatever. Like so like every event which has happened right now recently has all leading up to that one thing where the paradigm as a whole comes to know that thing. And like the problem is more on the other side. They're not able to keep up with it. So that's why they try to make up distractions and stuff, like all those things, but they are not really working. They're not going to work, because the situation is such that people have to find answers, and they have to find them right now. There's no time anymore to like like okay, I'll take my time and I'll do it in my own time and stuff like that. That's not there anymore. It's too fast now. If people wanted that, they should have taken birth 100 years ago. They could live that live in that time and easily, and there would be no that thing. But if you take birth right now on earth on this time, it is going to be fast, and it's going to move very fast. you'll see it like it.
Especially with internet. Like, come on, look
Yeah,
at what we have. Like, you're in UK, I'm in Canada. We're connecting and we're sharing that with the world.
yeah, yes,
Everybody can have access to this. So
yeah,
just internet is such a powerful tool that we
yeah,
have, and it's at our fingertips. We have
yeah,
the solution at our fingertips.
yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
just a matter of awaking this. Like, it's not. I don't have to be with you physically to feel your vibe and to get the teaching and to get
yeah,
the reasoning. Like, we can do this through the internet,
yeah,
through so
yes, yeah, and it has to become viral. The right things, the proper things, the correct things have to become viral, and when they do, you know, like even and then like I mean everything is a step. Like even flat Earth was a step. Like when that became viral, and then people came to know about it, people woke up in different ways through that. Like everything, like all these things, step by step, I'm noticing that it is happening, like step, 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 and finally it's going to come to that. And finally it'll come down to when people will understand that they have to work on their own body and their equipment. That will be the final step of it actually, which then when everything is done, only then people will come to that conclusion, and like that thing, and what they eat and what they do, how they use their body and everything. That'll be the final step, and learning that for real will be the main thing. And once that comes into play, I mean, you can't have any companies, you can't have these corporations, you can't have any of this nonsense, you can't have this million junk things, because people will not take it. Like right now also in the West, like unless they put the organic label on it, people don't buy it. Even chips have to write all this organic, made up in this thing, made like this, made in steam, not oil, not this. Like they have to write 100,000 things just to sell those chips even, right? Okay, why? Because people will not get the other thing right now. Like it has already reached that level. So like in time, even that is going to improve. Like, so
like
it's,
even for the potato chip, I became more conscious. Now I go get potato chip. If I get them, it's oil, potato, and salt. I try
yeah,
to limit my ingredient to that, but you go to other nonsense. It's terrible, the list of ingredients people are, but they don't look at it. Like, we don't
yeah,
pay too much attention to the body technology. And it's right what you said when you say the final step will be the body technology, because my personal journey started outside. I wanted to know everything about the outside. I thought
yes,
the truth was outside. When it's lies and deception, pretty much, when I look in
yeah,
the world, that's what I find. If you
yeah,
seek in the world, you'll find lies and deception.
yes.
But within you, you find a lot of truth.
Yes, yes. I mean, but yes, that's going to happen. But even if you wake up from outside using outside thing, that's a totally fine way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like because that's because then you come to know what is lies and what is that thing, and all of this is there, and
Exactly.
you get a sense of that thing, and you get sort of this thing, that awareness that okay, then this is not right. Okay, so something I have to find the right thing. Okay, I have to find the truth, and all of that. You automatically get that. So that's why I'm saying all these have been steps. Okay, and more of the structured things, like if NASA breaks down and this all these fake science breaks down, if all of this, that the universities, all this education system falls down, more and more people won't want to send their kids to school anymore, because they're indoctrination places. Okay, so then they have to teach the kids at home. Then what are they going to teach them again? So so all this comes into play. Like, what are you going to teach them? Like, okay, if you're not that you already decided that education system is a fraud, then you have to teach them something or whatever. So in that way, the whole thing will change. Then they'll have to learn. Okay, like what is to be done with the human body, and that's where, like, there's a thing called, like, like I was displeased about it, but you can consider it a step. Like yoga came from India, and like the Vedic thing into the West. Okay, but yoga is not exactly the right thing from my point of view. Like, but for the Western people, it's a start. Okay, okay, like it's a start, like where they can start doing those things. I mean, obviously that'll get refined over time. What real yoga is, because yoga has become yoga. The term is yoga, and it has become yoga for the West. And it's like a thing which people are doing, but at least it is helping their bodies a little bit. Okay, just to get their posture right and things like that. So there is obviously something there for people to, but these are big words now, like yoga, organic. Okay, I mean, right, like, I mean, these are big huge words in the mass consciousness. I'm talking even in mass mainstream level. Okay, like these are there. So then afterwards, when they realize what is real organic, then they'll come to the way the agriculture was done in India 100 years ago, like 1,000 years ago, which is just like cow dung and nothing else. Okay. And all of that will come, as the next steps to everything. And it's all leading to me towards the old ancient Vedic way everywhere. Like, no matter what people are coming from, this way, that way, even the flat earth people, when they went to Vedic cosmology, then they found, oh, yeah, like it's the whole, and they found more information on what it is like, where we are, like the whole actual information on where we are came more through Vedic cosmology than the whole flat earth movement put together. Okay. Okay. So in anything, when they in technology also, when they go more into that thing, they'll come to the Vedic thing. When it comes to body technology, then they'll come to the Vedic thing in the end. Okay. But it's all like all the roads are leading to that point. Okay. But they had kept it hidden. Like I know that in the last 50 years, they made a lot of attempt to keep that thing hidden from that thing, and the country which has the most Vedic tradition, which is India, had gone against it and had lost it over the last 5,000 years. So a lot of the knowledge and information had gotten corrupted over the last 5,000 years. So there was a problem, like how to get to the real truths and the knowledge and stuff like that. But I think those things are clearing up now, and it'll be available in a proper way for people to actually learn and apply.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's important also, like you said, if yoga is your thing, if speaking on YouTube is your thing, if this is your thing, like it's important also to respect each other in our own ways,
Yeah.
show kindness, and not judge and assess each other on our journeys. But that's what we do right now. We crucify each other on a public place for no
No, correct.
reason. So we gotta get to a state of mind where there is more caring, more kindness in our hearts also. So I think that's very important to be able to connect together and support each other in our journeys. Like, that's what I try to be. Like, I don't care what's your dream, what's your like. You're here with me, and you're a
Yeah.
brother or a sister. So we have to support each other. We need each other for
Yeah.
survival.
Yes, and the thing is, learning attitude is the most important thing in this. Like, okay, what the thing is, like, why people do that? Okay, like a lot of fighting and stuff is going to go on because people don't have learning attitude. Okay, I mean, when you have to learn about your own body and what you should eat and how you should be and what you should like, I mean, it's a question of learning. It's not a question of like that thing, and it's not a question of like judgment. Is obviously you will have to judge like what food to eat and stuff like that. You will have to judge all the time. You can't throw judgment into some dustbin. Like they say in New Age. Okay, like you will have to judge, otherwise you will not be able to survive at all if you don't judge. Like, you have to judge what is good, what is not good, what is this thing, what is this thing, what is this thing going to do if I eat it or whatever. Yeah, judgment is obviously very necessary. Okay, but it's like what you're judging. Like either you can have some superficial fight about judgment to each other, or you can actually really judge for yourself what is actually proper, and apply that. Okay, so it's a question of like the judgment should not become a bad word. Okay, which it has become. Any word like judgment, discipline, all these are bad words right now, which are actually good words. There's nothing wrong with these words. Okay, I mean, if you don't judge, I mean, like, how can you even live at all? Like, I'm saying, every moment you make a decision, you make a choice, that's a judgment. You're making a judgment all the time. You cannot survive even without judgment. Even if you're in a jungle, if you have to eat certain berries, you'll eat certain berries, and you will not eat certain ones because certain ones are poisonous and certain ones are not. Okay, okay, you can't just go to a jungle and start eating whatever just like that, like a mad person. Like, so it's like people have to understand that discretion and discrimination is very important. Like it's not something to be thrown out of the window. Like in everything, like that is important, but for that people have to learn. Basic thing is the learning attitude. If people say learning attitude, then that's the best attitude. Like that is the main important thing. That's a word which needs to be repeated, that learning. Okay, you have to learn, and if you want to learn, there is information in this earth, okay, on this earth right now, which will teach you the right thing and which can tell you the right thing. It's there. Okay, only choice is whether you want to learn or not. That's up to you. Like, but the right now nobody can say like, oh, it wasn't available to me. Right now the world is getting to a situation where the whole knowledge is there, everything will be there. It'll be just you who will decide whether you want to fight or you want to put that down, or I mean without even trying, or whatever you want to, like. Yeah. Yeah.
And that student attitude, like you said, that student spirit is very good to keep, but it seems like I don't know. We get like I was very curious when I was younger, like from 16 in high school, my high school years. I was very curious, like maybe into the pseudoscience and stuff. But still, I had curiosity, and I think this is what is needed to be curious and to question things. But I don't think we do it very much from like we do it at a certain point in our teenage years, but then we get to the place where we start to work in Babylon, and then we forget everything about that student spirit to learn. Like we get, it seems like we get to a plateau when we become adult and start working that we know everything, like
Yeah,
the illusion.
yeah. I mean, and learning, the learning attitude, that is the key in
Yeah,
everything. Like that is, once you get that and inculcate that, then there's nothing which can stop you. Like what is happening right now is that people are not trying to learn. Like that's why they're fighting each other, because like if they were trying to learn, then there would be nothing to, like you take what you learn and then you don't have to like actually um because you are concerned about learning, you're not concerned about engaging in an ego battle or like that thing. You are not interested in that. So like your focus is on that, I have to learn and apply, not just learn and learning which you can apply, because a lot of times people want to learn things which they can't really apply themselves. So then I don't call it learning, because what use is that learning which you can't really apply? Like, every learning should be practical, which you can actually apply, like nothing just in the air. Oh, I learned this thing, like, like, and you think you learn, but what does that do to you? Like, how does that make you evolve or make you better? Like, how does that change your destiny in your future life? Or, yeah, yeah,
yeah, knowledge is good, but knowledge is
yeah,
always potential power. It depends what you
yeah,
do with it. If you
yeah,
get knowledge and you sit in front of the TV and lobotomize yourself, you're not doing much for humanity. No? But if you have knowledge of
yeah,
who you are and stuff, and you
yeah,
go out in the world and share it, that
yeah,
can expand also the awareness of the whole. I'm part of this whole, like you. No? So what we share
yeah.
is gonna expand the awareness, especially we do it on the internet. No? So
Yeah,
it's
yes, and the thing is, knowledge is a thing which, when you use the word knowledge, that means applicable thing only. Otherwise it's information. Okay, knowledge automatically means something you can apply and actually do good for yourself or raise yourself. You can raise yourself through that. That is knowledge. Otherwise it's just information. Okay, and there's a lot of focus on information rather than knowledge. Okay, and people in time will learn that, like, right soon, like that, what is the difference between information and knowledge? Okay, there are two different things completely. Like right now there's a huge information that think, oh, I want this more information. People are begging for more and more and more information, about everything, and which is a good thing. Okay, in a way it's a starting point. Okay, like afterwards, but they will get to a point where they will have to find out what is applicable. How can I use something practically for myself, rather than just being in this information cloud, which I enjoy for a bit, but afterwards it gets confusing. And when it gets confusing, then it is not so enjoyable anymore. Like it becomes more like it becomes a more like you get a migraine from it, like, and that's what, like, like, so people learn that way only right now. So because
much. When
yeah,
you go get too much information, you get a headache from it, and yeah, at one point you just let go. And that's what happened to me. I got a lot of information on the internet and stuff, but at one point I think it's more knowing who I am and what I can bring as vibration, knowing the vibration deep down inside, and that's what I want. Because I always say I'm always scratching the surface of my potential. I know there's an immense potential inside that just waiting to come out, but I've
yeah,
got to work on it. You got to, you're like, it's like you come to this world, you're a rough diamond, you're very rough, but then you got to polish that diamond and become very shiny. And I think it's possible.
yeah, but impossible, but it requires discipline. Like if you even see any movies, like even, like the Chinese movies, I don't know, Shaolin movies, have you seen any? I don't know, Shaolin stuff and stuff like that. Like you see, like there's a discipline, how they sit, how they are being, everybody has like a lot of discipline in that. Like, I'm saying, that is required for the human technology, that discipline which is in the East, like, which was always that thing. Whether you look at the Chinese thing, and which is again coming from the Vedic thing, the posture of the body, everything, that without that discipline you can't really go into any further steps, without that, like the body discipline and stuff like that, there is no further step to be taken, like it. it is the base of it all, you know. And finally all beings will have to come to it, right? Rather than like right now people are like making all kinds of graceless moves on television and stuff like that, because they don't know that you're not supposed to do that with your body. Or, you know, people can be in all kinds of, like they call it dancing. Okay. Yeah, but it is just being graceless. Okay. Like, okay, so there are a lot of gracelessness in a lot of ways, and there is gracelessness even in like things like people think ballet is graceful. Okay. Like, okay, but ballet is actually more torturous on your feet and stuff, like the way you are holding your feet like continuously in this posture, and you know, all of that. It's a like a pain and torture device. It's not nothing to do with grace actually. So people are even fooled into thinking what is grace and what is not in this world, and like because they think, okay, if this kind of dancing is bad, but then this is good, and that thing, all of them are bad. Okay, everything which is there right now promotes bad thing for your body. Like all the sports, all the thing, no matter what it is there right now, you know, it's promoting putting your body into situations which it should not be put into. Okay, it's doing harm to your instrument. Okay, like, and that's the main thing, you know. And once you're doing that, then you are going against yourself, you know, basically. That's what it means. So then you can't do the both things. You can't evolve and go again, be against yourself at the same time. That is not possible. Like, you know, that's
because the point is to evolve. You don't want to stay on pause, but I think that's what we love. We love the pause button, and we stay there unless we release that pause button and start pressing play. Like
yeah,
there's got to do something with this body. That's why I say
yeah,
there's something magnificent, and everything we want is on the other side of our fears and all that. So it's worth it to go through it. It's gonna be might be painful a bit. It was at the beginning, like you confronted with yourself most of it. It's there's so much self-realization also to be made. I'm just at the surface of this self-realization. Like I feel like it's so immense. What I see is so immense. I don't know if you have the same vision of me. What I see
I mean,
about me, but not only about
I
me,
mean,
about you,
yeah,
about the neighbor, about this neighbor, about everyone that surrounds me. I
yes,
see it
yes. I
so
mean,
immense.
I like whatever I see and stuff, like the whole thing. I don't like to like talk about it, my vision much, because the thing is that like that's I don't want to. I want people to take baby steps first. Okay, I don't want them to get confused right now exactly, and like try to go for the building without the foundation. You know, like I just don't want that to happen at all. Like, you know, in that way. So the foundation has to be proper before you venture into anything. And that's the reason why, I mean, I even speak in that thing and tell people, because I know that there are enough people out there telling people other things. Okay, and no, only I am telling about this basic, and people might not like me for it, because, you know, like nobody likes to that thing, you know, like, because that's the it's a thing where it requires you to go back and actually concentrate and focus on some practical matters, you know, like rather than being in an airy world of, you know, imagination or that thing, you know. It's a thing. It's like bringing you more down to earth, back down to
Because
earth.
we
Yeah,
want the instant gratification right away. You know,
yeah,
when we start working on ourselves, it's the same
yeah,
thing. We want
yeah,
instant gratification, but it's not like that.
yeah,
You
yeah,
gotta
like,
start
yeah,
building the foundation and slowly the walls, and but not the
yeah,
walls. Maybe you should make them. You should put screen all around your house.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the thing is like it's like having the head in the sky, but the feet should still be on the ground, you know. Okay, like, so that is the thing which, you know, like because people don't understand, unless you are grounded and you do the earth grounding properly and this earth physical experiment properly, you are not getting out. You will not get to explore and discover this multiverse until you do this first. Like, it's a level one, and you have to do it before you move any way forward, like in any direction, you know. Like, it has to be done. Like, you
That makes
cannot
sense.
bypass
Yeah.
this step. Okay, like, people, once they realize that, it's a realization, because realization has a real word in it, real I. You know, Zation, once they come to realize this properly, that this step cannot be bypassed, okay, then only they will do it. Okay, like, it's, and whenever they go through other things, they're already feeling that, like, what a lot of people who have been trying these things, they've already reached that thing. Okay, and it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. They're feeling that end of the tether, you know, like, where it's a thing where they have tried, they try that, and they feel that end of the tether, and that's when they'll be open up to real knowledge and new knowledge of the body technology, So
But there's one word that we came to love very, very much, and it's called fast. We love everything that goes fast. And we
yeah,
love to we eat fast. We like everything we do. Faut que ça soit vite, 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 fast.
yeah,
If
yeah,
not, we gave up. We're not like a personal self-realization in a way. It's long. It's long to get in touch with who you are and the whole. But like it takes time. There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff
yes,
like
yes, yes.
I'm
I mean,
just scratching the surface.
but it's fast. Like, okay, but people don't understand. I'll say something on this word. People don't understand. If you actually start doing something properly right now with your body, okay, it will be fast. We live in times where your actual, if any being decides to do the right thing and the proper thing, your evolution will be very fast compared to other times. Like in other times, if you have to do it something for 20 years, okay, right now you have to do it for 6 months only before you get the result. Okay, so what I'm saying is it is actually fast right now. I mean, but you have to do the right thing. Like it's not that it will not be fast. Like even if you want things fast, even if that is your general thing, you still have to like understand that it's not instantaneous. Like there's a difference between fast and instantaneous. Okay, people are looking for instantaneous stuff, okay, rather than fast. Even fast is like 6 months or 2 years is fast. Like if you get to like a state so quickly, that is fast. Like by nature's terms, by actual multiversal terms, it's very fast, like Jim saying. And people have that opportunity right now in this age, in this day and age, to do that. Okay, but like they shouldn't look for instantaneous things. Okay, because that's just impractical. That is totally impractical. That's like being a baby. Like just like in instant gratification, like you said, like that's just like being too much of a baby. And then if you're that much of a baby, then you will need time until you will understand that things don't work like that.
Need a
So,
pacifier.
yeah, yes, yeah, the pacifier thing. Yes,
But that's what it is. A lot of us
yes,
go around this world with a big pacifier in the mouth, and we can't even talk. We can't even lift our voice. That's something too. We have a body technology equipped with a voice,
yeah,
with ears, with eyes, with smell, with all this, but we dismiss our senses so much for the price of an illusion. Like it's
yes,
crazy.
yes. Yes, I mean, there's people getting away from the senses is a very big thing. One has to actually go into the senses. Because that's part of your body being, okay, that your senses. And your senses give you sense. The word sense comes from senses. Okay, so your sense of sense will come from senses only. Okay, like, and that's what I was telling you before about that. Like, once you get your senses more refined and to a higher taste, okay, you automatically don't like the lower taste. Okay, you automatically go away from that. Nobody has to tell you to stay away from that. Like after that, nobody will have to tell you to stay away from the potato chip. You will automatically like the other dishes. There are 100 dishes you like more than that before that, because you will enjoy eating that more. Okay, so it comes from it. So it doesn't stay to you like it is not a tease for you. Okay, like it's not like you are exercising willpower. Oh, I'll not have that. Like, which is what it is for battle for people right now. If they see something and they say, oh, I'll not have that, it's like a tug of war going on. It'll be actually like, I have something better to eat than that. Okay, so then it's not a matter of like, yeah, so then your body satisfied, your taste is satisfied, your being is satisfied, and on top of that, you don't have to have this battle going on anymore. And that's where the nature is there, for people to connect outside of the false matrix they have created. Okay, like outside, like there is a option always. you know
There,
yeah,
there's always a way out of this madness. For
yeah,
sure, we're not trapped in this. It's
yeah,
easy. The way out is easy. It's not
yeah,
so hard to see the way out, but I think it's the action that we have to take and the stuff we have to motivate ourselves each and every day to take action. And this is big because very often you're gonna do your life work. You're not getting gratification very very instantaneous, and that's what I said we're used to. So it's
and
very very important to stay focused. Stay focused on your life work more than your
and,
work at 9 to 5, more than your job. But we're more focused on our jobs in Babylon than the life work we have to do for ourselves. That's why I like you say no job ever. You said that somewhere.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, like, I'll make a point here is that for people like whosoever wants to do this, there's actually less work required in doing the right and proper thing than the
Yeah.
other thing. There is actually more work required in doing the other thing.
It's like telling lies. It's harder to tell lies than telling
Yes,
the truth because you have to remember what you say if you tell lies. If you
yes,
tell the truth, I come here. I don't have to remember anything. I'm just
yes,
telling you what I feel
yes.
inside. So
Yeah, so even to actually eat the proper food, to eat the proper diet, to eat the do the right things, to be have your body in the right posture, or anything which is actually required for the thing is more better and more easier, and less work is required, okay, for doing those things than doing all the nonsense which people do. Like, there's much more effort is the word, like, which goes in like doing nonsense, then like doing sensible things will actually make things life much more easier for you, okay, and your life will become less complex and more easier and more like easier to handle, like, than doing all this kind of like nonsense which people do, like. So it's a question of like, but you have to have that, I want to make it easy for myself, you have to that have that thing, you have to not have this notion that I want to make it more difficult for myself, you know
and it's
you,
important, like you
yeah,
said, to put effort into it because the moment you put effort into it, like if you take it's the same word in French, it's a effort, and
yeah,
effort is a fort. It's a fort. So you're building a fort, like you're building something strong. With effort, you're building something strong. You know,
yes, yes, yes,
how I
yes.
see it.
What I'm saying is, but the real things actually take less effort than all the nonsensical things in this
Yeah.
world. Okay, they take less work and less that thing, and that work is rewarding in the sense that you actually sense the rewards
That's
yourself, and you
why if
feel.
you put maybe too much effort, it's gonna be too strong to make it collapse.
Yeah, but even whatever little work you'll put in a real way, that'll give you the results.
Yeah,
You will actually experience the results quite quickly, and you'll feel lighter, you'll feel better, you'll feel that thing. All of that will happen to you, like Jim saying, with less work. Do you know what I'm saying? And in the other thing, you put in a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of work, and nothing comes out of it. You just get more depressed, more that thing, more headachy, more nonsense. Like so, the difference between the two paths is very clear and distinct. When efforts and the work is going towards the right direction, it's much less required. People don't understand. People work very hard in this world, okay. I mean, they work very really hard for nothing, for devolving. People are working very hard to devolve, and that's not a good deal, like, in any.
and
Yeah,
often
yeah,
by working very hard, you're gonna leave your physics behind. Like that's I work like a dog all my life, and now I'm on my ass because I have a fucked up knee because of work and all this. So
yeah,
often you're gonna
yeah,
even leave your physics behind without
yeah,
noticing it.
because your health suffers, like, like whatever, like, I'm saying, when you do the real work, your health improves, it doesn't suffer. your your health is improving, yeah, and health is wealth. People say that, like, but people don't understand. Again, that's connected to the body technology only, but like, people don't go by that, like, when they're going out of money, they don't care about health, like. So, like, I mean, that's the thing. But what I'm saying is that real that thing, because right now people want to experience all kinds of things, like third eye or any of these things, but any of this will not happen until you do the basics first, okay. You will have to that, you will have to connect with nature, you will have to take care of your posture, you have to take care of your speech, you have to take care of your diet, you have to take care of your sounds, whatever you are surrounding yourself with. Every input, sensory input you take from eyes, nose, mouth, ears, everything you have to take care of, okay. And it's easy, it's like taking things out. It's more simple rather than making it more complex. It's actually simplifying it rather than complicating it further. So
No, it's easier to become you at your natural than you
yeah,
fake. The
yeah,
fakeness is always harder to maintain, and
yeah,
there's lots of suffering too. It's a lot. You suffer a lot less if you be true to yourself, and I think
yeah,
that
yeah.
that's
I
what
mean,
we should
obviously,
learn.
like, the whole point is not to suffer. Like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
evolution should not mean suffering. Okay, like, you shouldn't have to suffer to evolve. Okay, so like that's what the good part about evolving and all these things are, that you don't have to. That's why I'm against some yoga things as well, because people are trying to stretch themselves in this way, that way, making this out of the body and stuff like that, which is not really required of the body. Just a basic, simple, straight posture with your straight spine is good enough. You know to keep your spine straight and to be able to maintain a centered way of being in any point of time. Like,
But
that is.
why do we default to these kind of stuff like yoga? And we tend to search so many stuff outside of ourselves to validate our existence. Why are we doing
Yeah,
this?
no, because again, like, I think that what happens from the body time is like when people are 3, 4, 5 years old, like that's when how to deal with the body should come into that age, at that age, like how to, but it's not taught. So people are totally uneducated in terms of how to deal with the physical body instrument, like from that age. So after that, everything is chaotic, like nothing is real, like nothing is there. Like, like you are in a where your base is not there, you are just struggling and you're just going in a strange way from that point, like, so from age of 5 to 17 you live in any kind of way, you're going in any kind of way, you're doing any kind of thing, you're just, you're spoiling all of your discipline in that age itself, you know and people are not like, I mean, right now couches and stuff are there. That's why they've given couches and beds and sofas to people, so they can spoil their body posture. Okay, and all these things have springs in them, and they have these things, like people just go down in them, in the beds, whatever people sleep in these days, they're really bad for your body, right? Okay, yeah, okay. I mean, if you have a mattress which is more thick and has got like thick cotton, that thing, and so that when you sit down, it doesn't go down, so it'll be soft and comfortable, but it'll not affect your body in that way, like thick cotton thing, like very like, and cotton is a natural material, so all these sofas and beds, I always say, like, that's been given to people to mess up their posture, to
the
mess up their
best the
grace.
best sleep I have is when you sleep in a tent outside and
Yeah, yeah,
directly on the ground and
yeah, yeah,
be
yeah,
and
yeah. But ground is obviously like, it still is not hard, like it's not stone, like
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like mud is like soft, like compared to grass is soft, like, like it's not hard, like, but it is firm enough for your body to, so whatever you sleep in
Like
has to be
lying
firm.
down in the grass, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, so you have to be, it has to be firm, like the surface, not like any of these things. So like having sofas and all of these things in your house, I mean, you can chuck them away, then it is easier for you, your life. Okay. I mean that's what I'm saying, like Jim saying, if people are like, there's so many things like that, it'll which make your life worse, and that's why they've given them so many, that's why it has become a mass thing, like everybody has to feel like a king, like, so they have their sofa, that thing, they're sitting there watching their TV, so they have to feel like a king, because they knew that all the common people, which was the serfs before, they wanted to feel like a king, that's, they knew the mentality of the, so they knew that, like, they want to feel like that, they said, okay, they want to feel like that, we'll give them that. That's why they gave the sofas and the beer, and you can have a sofa and you're sitting on it like that, you have a beer like this, and you think you are the king now, like, okay, like, you get that feeling, like, like, yeah,
That's really what it is. That's
yeah,
why we're
yeah,
all suddenly fat and
yeah,
overweight. Also, we live like kings and queens. Like
yeah.
they were all fat. They were eating all kinds of stuff that the
Yeah,
kings.
yeah.
Like,
So, but that time there were few kings and queens, like, but now everybody is. So,
yeah,
so
that's
they,
it. And
so
they tell themselves to, I'm a king, I'm a queen.
yes, okay, and that's the whole thing, like, so they knew that that'll play on people's ego, you know, this kind of thing, and it'll spoil their body and they'll spoil their physical, that thing, and
And I
system and
see
everything.
that a lot into the reggae music. They call
Yeah,
themselves a lot king and queen, and
yeah, yeah. I mean,
it's but
yeah, yeah. Obviously, because I mean, it's they're part of the same system.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they say part of the same Babylon system. Like, I mean, I mean, they have not said no to. There's no reggae songs I've heard against couches and sofas and beds, and I've not heard this kind of lyrics in them. Like, like,
Exact. And the
yeah,
suffering,
you got to
like
throw out your sofa, man. You got to throw out your sofa, man. You got to throw out your sofa, man. I've not heard that lyric as yet.
exact.
I'm yet to hear that lyric.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when we
Yeah,
get to a very conscious lyrics, it's a different thing. No?
yeah,
But
yeah,
that's what's happening. I think we're
yeah.
living way too much comfortable. But I don't think
It's not
we're like
comfortable. It's not
like
comfortable. It's not
hold
comfortable.
on, hold on.
Yeah,
Like Pink Floyd was saying, comfortably numb.
yeah.
But I don't think it's comfortable. It's more uncomfortably numb. That because
Yes,
it's not comfortable to suffer. Like,
mm,
but we say to ourselves, we're in the comfort zone. No, you're not in a comfort zone. You're very uncomfortable.
Yes, yes. What I'm saying is, finally, if you lie in that sofa, your body goes that thing. You get all these like muscle pains and muscle that things, and you get this, you get arthritis, you get all these things. That is not comfort, right? When your body suffers, you suffer. Like there's no these things are uncomfortable things. I mean, only once you have experienced comfort can you even tell that these things are uncomfortable. Once you experience proper cotton thing and you sit on it, and you after that you go into a sofa or a spring sofa or anything, you'll find that this thing is bloody uncomfortable. Like, I mean, I can't be in it for at all, even for 1 minute. Like, it's like you automatically, and the sense of comfort and whatever nature provides comfort and luxury actually, but people are so disconnected from nature that they have lost all sense of what is comfortable and what is luxurious, because that comes from nature too. That sense comes from nature only. Like, and if you are disconnected from that, you will not have that. Okay, so what you will consider comfortable will actually be uncomfortable for your body, and it will give you the results. It will give you all the bad results. Like, yeah.
Same like what we do with our life. We think we're very comfortably numb, but no, we're all very uncomfortable with also with the stress, with the anxiety that all this cause. That Babylon stuff will cause a lot of stress if you get caught up into it, and that can take you away. Like, you better be up and in with life than down and out.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, but I mean, a person like, I mean, that's why like people have to experience that. Like you have to experience sleeping on the grass or being on the grass. Then you know how comfortable that is. Or you use cotton and you use thick cotton, and you come to know what comfortable. Like, you have to experience those things, and then when you experience those things, then you automatically leave these things, which are not so comfortable and stuff like that, which you've gotten used to, because just because you go to your local that thing and they just give you these sofas and beds and they just make them like that. You have no say in how that bed is made or how that thing is made. You have no say in any of those things. You have got nothing to do with it yourself. They just make something and just give it to you, and you just use it just because whatever they are putting in the supermarket, you eat it because that's what is being given to you. But it's like, there are alternatives to everything. Like, there are alternatives to all of these things.
I wonder what people were doing, like, just go back 200 years ago when there was none of these factories that producing mattress and all that stuff, all those couches, like what people had in their house, like how were they living, like how, on what
I mean,
were they
hey, I
sleeping?
mean,
Like, I wonder this.
yeah, I mean, because in India and stuff, cotton was always there. Okay, so you had cotton mattresses. Okay, you can put
Okay.
on the ground and you can put the cotton and that thing, because cotton was grown in India and everything. They knew how to use that for. And in the Western stuff, they were using hay, you know, hay for sleeping and stuff. Like, I mean, you can always find some natural thing. I mean, like anywhere, like and the nature provides some natural stuff everywhere too, you know, like that thing, like.
Yeah, I went on a trip once and I slept on cedar branches. I had to find something to put the bugs away while I sleep. I said, "Oh, I'll use cedar. It's good. It's a bug repulsant." So I put
Yeah,
cedar on because I was stuck. I was in a mountain in Vancouver doing
yeah.
hitchhiking, and I had to find a place to sleep. So I said, "Oh, cedar branches," and I slept on there all night.
Yeah, but there is so soft moss. You can use soft mosses. There are soft mosses. There are things which come out from trees and that thing, which little soft things you can put them down. There are a lot of things which you can do, like leaves. There are hundreds of things
Yeah,
in
yeah.
nature, like which can be used in different regions and for providing the body the and once you sleep like that, your body doesn't ache either, like, because all these beds in which your body actually goes down and makes a dent into it, that's when you start suffering, like that's where then you say, like, you have to have ergonomic beds and this thing which go right into your body shape, and still all of that will be bad for your body in the end, like, whatever they like say about all these things, but I mean, to me, like, I mean, obviously that was the beginning of the end for grace. Like, often people beds and sofas were given to everybody, and now, like, at that time there were no hospitals either. In 100 200 years ago, now everybody's going to hospital as well, like, so you can see, yeah, what is happening from this kind of lifestyle people are living.
That's it. There's a
Yeah,
change visible with our
yeah,
lifestyle. We have
yeah,
so much hospital, so much nonsense around it
yeah,
that we also given into.
yeah,
And to go back to my, I had a paper here. We didn't even start going through it.
yes,
We're at the end of our talk, and I'm starting my paper. It's okay.
yes.
We'll do another one. No problem.
Yes, yes, yes.
I had here, okay, because on the chakra, okay, on the colors, we were talking about the colors before, and I want to hear you about the chakra colors and their signification and why the purple, the blue, the light blue, the green, the yellow, the orange, the red. Like, give me your
Okay,
appreciation of this.
okay. This is just a frequency thing, and it's to do with grahas, like, which are called planets now. But the planet is a wrong term for it, like, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Mercury, Sun, Moon, like, which is our days. Weekdays are Sundays, Sunday, Mondays, Monday, Tuesdays, Tuesday. Okay. So, like, for example, the red frequency, which is at the bottom, which is the bottom chakra, which is called Muladhara. Okay,
Bottom one. Yeah.
Muladhara. Okay, the bottom one, like, which is called Muladhara, which is at the base of your spine. Okay, so that is red. Okay, so when you think of the color red, what do you get from red? Like, the red, what do you get? Like, the feeling of warmth, heat. Like, infrared is what? Heat. Like, if you have infrared frequency, what do you get? Like, whenever there's infrared red, it's heat. Okay, so, like, in that chakra, obviously all of your heat lies, like, whatever heat a being has got, like, that heat, that thing. So, and what is the blue? The term blue, like, when you go up, it's blue more. The blue frequency, blue is cold, like, okay, like, more cooling frequency. So you're moving from hot to cool, basically. Okay, that's the transition. Like, so, like, orange is closer to red, that's why it's the second. Like, you move slightly further away from orange, you'll get yellow, which is the next, that thing. And then green is that central middle thing, which is there in nature. All of the trees are green, everything is green, and all nature tries to be green in
That's
the.
a very significant color, green. It's
Yeah,
all over.
yeah, okay. So if you look at this earth's color, like, earth's color is basically reddish, brownish red, like the soil.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's soil, so that's red. Okay, then middle is green, the trees and everything. Okay, and the blue is the sky, like,
Oh,
okay.
so it's the same thing as nature. That's
It's
it. We
called,
can
so
find
it's
the
called
same
same. So
stages.
it's R, red,
Yeah, yeah,
R,
yeah.
G, green, blue, RGB. Now these are the three primary colors. They call primary colors. Okay. Now you can make all the colors out of these three basic colors, RGB. Okay. So that's why on your, like, computer screen, all of that, like, they use RGB to give you the screen and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
I heard that
Yeah.
before.
Yes.
RGB.
Yeah. It's the primary basic colors, primary colors. Okay. And that's what nature is: the earth, trees, sky. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Like, red, green, blue. So the same pattern will be within your body. What is in nature? Outside. Okay. So when you go from the lower chakra to the highest, like, that same color gradient will, because nothing outside in nature will happen which is different from your body, right? Like, it's not going to be different. Like, like, the blueprint is the same. So that is the blueprint of the chakras, which is but the I wouldn't like to go into the chakras, why they are this and how many petals they have, and all of that is, I consider, secondary, tertiary information. But people, again, before they go into chakras, and like, creating a straight spine is important for people. You have to create a straight spine first. For that, that's why your posture is important. That your spine should always be straight. It should not be slouching away. It should not be going like this. It should not be going like that. Like, it should be straight. Your spine should be straight. Okay. Then that's when you will get that Jed sword thing. Okay. Like, without that, there's nothing. So that's what the posture is for. Is always keeping your spine straight. Okay. That's why it was always inculcated in all the things that. So before people go into chakras or anything, just keep your spine straight first. Okay. Like, okay, that's the very basic thing. And anytime, in any posture, anything, like, and when people, like, when people pick up things from the ground, objects and stuff, they always bend their back instead of using their knees. You have to use your knees. You have to go down on your knees. Okay, don't bend your back. Okay, for lifting things up. Okay, but people just, like, unconsciously, they just go down and they just bend their. Okay, yeah, because people are not used to bending their knees. Because bending your knees was also, again, people think it's like, being a servant again or serf. When you had to bend the knee in front of the king or queen, like bending the knee. It's called bending the knee, which has become a bad term. So people have stopped bending the knees in their work, in their core, and whenever they're doing any work or chores or anything like that. But it's important to bend the knees. That's what it's for, bending, not your back. You don't bend your back. So there are different things in the body which people have to understand what they are for, So.
And I think once you come to hurt it, once you do it and you hurt, then you get a sense of, hey, it's not right. But often we gotta get to that. I don't know why we're like that. We often have to hit either the bottom of the barrel or the wall before we realize something. What is so hard to see? Like, why?
It's because one is brought. One is it's done from the childhood. It all happens because I told you from age of 3 to 17, you are brought up or not brought up, like you are actually like that. That's the way you are. That thing. There's no one telling you what the right thing is in those ages. That's why all these bad habits form. Because
that's why I say les enfants. To say it in French, les enfants sont pas élevés, sont garochés. We just throw the children in the well without awareness, without nothing, and then they pick up all the nonsense.
Yeah, obviously, and all these things are not taught, and that's the level. That's the time when this discipline has to be put in. Okay,
and that's the parents' role, right?
Yeah. That is the parents' role. I mean, that was their only role. I mean, that's
the only role.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else they have to do. I mean, you don't have to physically make someone grow up. Like, they will grow up anyways, like Chip saying, whether you are there or not there, right?
Can't stop the process of growing up, but the awareness is it's got to be taught. For sure.
Yeah, so that's why it happens. That's why people have gotten to that level where it's not been taught for centuries now. Okay, it's not just right now, like even in this lifetime. Okay, like your ancestor's ancestor, nobody has learned this. Okay, so then it's not there even in the genes or the DNA to immediately follow that immediately up. Like I'm saying, it's not there in the genetic memory even for that. So it has to be learned from scratch. Like
you have to redo the blueprint completely.
Done. Yeah, because it's not like you can go into your genetic memory and get all these access to these things automatically. It's not there. It's not happened to your ancestors, even nothing. So that's why the situation is such that somewhere some teaching has to come, and it's available on earth. Like, thankfully it's available on earth. These things are there available on earth itself. It's not like you have to go to some other plane right now to actually figure these things out or find these things out, So
nothing is hidden. It's just people hiding from it.
Yeah. Yes. So that's exactly. Yeah, that's what. And I mean, if you hide from it or whatever, then you will suffer yourself, because if you don't learn the right basic things, I mean, just if you eat junk food, then you suffer and nobody else suffers. Who else suffers? I mean, I don't know who else suffers. So it's like people have to realize that whatever they do, they actions have consequences. That month I gave last time, it's a very important mantra for people. I mean, because they have to go with. I mean, these baby kind of steps. I'm saying that over and over again. People have to have this awareness, about actions have consequences for them only, for nobody else. Okay.
And that's what you do at the beginning. You wake the baby. So a baby that just woke up will not do a major step. They will take baby step, and then we're gonna get to a point where maybe we'll reach adulthood or a bit more responsible with our life, and that's what happened. I think at one point you move out that baby state, and
Yes.
I think that's a lot what's happening with many of us. We're realizing we're no more babies, that we have also a responsibility, not only with my personal life, but I don't work for you. I don't work for anybody here. I'm not seeking acceptance for anyone here, neither from you for anyone. I'm doing a divine work. That's who I work for, is the divine force. I don't know, God, call it whatever you want, Joe, whatever you want, but it's a divine force.
But divine force, obviously. But divine force work. But divine force works through beings only. It doesn't work in any other way. Divine never works any other way. It's not.
That's what I'm saying. It's you, it's us. They're putting the work in motion.
I mean, but divine also, like, that's. But my point is, like, to get oneself ready, or to get one's own instrument ready for that, you have to work on yourself so that it can work through you. Like, if you don't have the instrument ready or anything like that, like if you have a radio which doesn't work, it doesn't catch any channels, so you're not gonna get any signal from it. Like, I mean, you have to get that instrument in order, right, to even for it to work. Like, so it's, I mean, that is the main thing, and people have to put in that work. I mean, anybody who's serious and who's sincere about that will put in the work for it. I'm sure about that. Yeah.
There's another thing I want to hear you before we leave, and
yes.
It's something very interesting that's been going around. I think there's one part in it that I really think it's necessary. It's the discipline. But there's the other part that I don't think it's absolutely necessary, and it's to spill our blood over our intent. I want to hear you on this, the blood over intent. Like, it's good to have intent, but you must have discipline. The part who we're talking, you got to be disciplined to take action.
Okay.
So why?
Yeah, yes,
this old blood?
Anyway, yes, I know about it. Yes, I know about it. Yes, because the causal luminosity.
About it.
Yes. Okay. Yes. The thing is this. Like, I'll explain to you very simply. Like, and it'll carry on with what we were talking about. Anyways, what happens is when people don't know what to do, right? They have no idea what they have to do. They know they have to do something, right? Okay. So someone comes and says, okay, you do this and it'll happen. Okay. And it seems very instantaneous. It's very fast. Okay. Like, you just spill a few drops and then good things will happen. Now you don't have to care about your posture. You don't have to care about this. You don't have to care about anything. You just do this and it'll work. And this kind of miracle things people are always will be attracted to in the beginning, because you don't have to do much. Like, it's like a very small little thing you have to do one time. It's not a discipline which you will have to, like, go through in time. Like, it's not like something which you'll have to sustain in time, but everything which you actually do, which actually works, you have to sustain in time. You have to be the right way all the time, 24 hours. It's not a matter of poking yourself anywhere. Okay. I mean, like, it's not a question of, like, if people are saying this is my intent. Okay. If this is your intent, then you have to live that every day, 24 hours, 24/7, 365. It's not a question of actually just spilling. I mean, you have to do actions. And if you keep on spilling your blood, I mean, that's not an action. Action is actually doing what your intent is saying you're going to do. Okay, like, you're going to raise the vibrations, and you will raise your own vibration first. Okay, number one. Okay, so then you will work for that. You'll not just keep on. I mean, this is a very, like, I mean, again, like, one of the things which people have made up, like, a little side thing, where you can get something without doing anything really. Like, it's another one of those things, like, where it appears like, and it appeals to people because it's nothing which requires a continuous discipline. It just requires just doing this one act one time. Like, I mean, it's like you saying, okay, I'll go to forest one time and just touch my feet in water, okay, anywhere, and then it's done. Now I'm not going to go out anymore anywhere in nature or anything. I've done it once and it's done now. My intent, I put it down to nature and it's all over now. Okay, it's done. Okay, it's like saying it's done now. Okay, so this whole mentality, like, obviously it's a very childish, kiddish, bratty mentality. Like, again, it's in that kiddie level, very kiddie level, like, where you are, like, you're not facing the realities of this multiverse. That this multiverse works in time, and you have to keep things going through time, and time is the tester of your intent. Okay, time tests your intent, not blood. Like, okay.
Exact. That's good what you say, because I think this is a real test here, and not only for your intent, but also how much can you give without receiving, because you're here to give. We're here to give. I'm here to give. And if I've got to be a giver all my life, that's what I'll be. If it's my mission, that's what I'll be. But I know it's about giving. It's not so much about receiving, because what you give, you'll receive. It's not ask and you'll receive. It's give and you shall receive,
Yeah. I'll just make a little point here so that there's no confusion in this way. Like, and when you giving as well, people think giving, people take it wrongly. People think giving means I'll go and give my blood to Red Cross.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Like, even this sense of giving also, like, okay, I give my blood to Red Cross. Okay. Or this thing. Okay. I mean, don't do that. You need your blood for your own actions. Your blood, what it is doing, will be seen through your actions. Okay, not through by giving your blood or any of these things, which will be just for vampirical purposes and all this, yeah, nonsense. Like, so like,
We
so
know that.
not to be naive in these ways, like I'm saying. This is naivety, like I'm saying, which is a lot of naivety which is there, in people right now. So they have to be taught, like you can only give anything even first when you have something to give. For that, you have to work on yourself. Okay, blood you have anyways, just by being born. Okay, you have you have done nothing for it. Okay, you just have it because you're born and you have a physical body. But I mean, and again, all these things, have come to through people from, what people were doing these rituals for other entities and stuff before taking out their blood and offering it to other entities, unseen entities, and getting favors from them, and all of these kind of things. So these rituals were coming from that kind of way, which are not recommended for anybody. I'm not like that. No one should do that kind of thing, because that goes against your own working on yourself, which is the primary thing.
And it's not your own thought. Like, I never
Yeah.
thought of spilling my blood over my intent. It came from someone else. Someone else told me, hey, you should spill your blood. But I never thought of this. Blood is
Obviously,
inside my body.
yeah.
Like, and I get a cut, I'm going to bleed. But I'm good. I have good health. I coagulate fast. But,
Yeah, so you coagulate. You not. I mean, all this is like, I don't know. This is like escapism. I'll call it another kind of escapism. People are trying to escape. Like that thing, and it appeals to, like, and I mean, I can understand in the West it'll appeal to people because it is just a one-time thing. Everybody likes just a one-time thing, and and you will escape that thing, and that thing, and obviously there will be always people who will be confusing people like that. Because
we love the one-time thing.
Why they do that? Because they don't have any basics. They don't have any. These people who say that and do that, they don't have any proper diet. They don't have any proper that thing. They don't have any proper grounding. They don't have any proper posture. They don't have any proper sense. Like, that's why they fall into these things. And same beings, if they were taught proper sense and given proper that thing education, then they will not fall prey to these kind of things. The fads like this, like yeah.
It's very important to stay focused in that matter, for sure. And many stuff we have to cultivate that focus, harness that power of decision and all that stuff, and become stronger every day. That's the goal, is to build something strong, because strengthening our mind will probably the only thing that can save us in the long run. It's strengthening our mind. So I think it's a good thing to keep with.
Start with the body. Start with the body.
Start with the body, then the whole thing will align naturally. I think
naturally,
me, I don't force anything. I just go with the flow naturally each and every day. But I make sure my intent is divine, and it's to put things in motion, stuff in motion. So I make sure I take action, and taking action is lifting your voice is a very good way. Put yourself out in the world. Don't be shy. We're all beautiful. We all have something beautiful.
But like some people can be loud, and they can be very loud, but they can say the wrong things and tell the wrong things and preach the wrong things. There are a lot of people who loudly say the wrong thing too. It's not like they will lack any voice in saying the wrong thing. I mean, they'll be shouting it out on the mics, even, so it's not that. It's like, actually work on yourself first, and like get to a sense of wisdom and clarity and everything within yourself before you say anything to anybody. Like,
that's very good. That's very good. Wow, thank you very much, Prashant. Again, it went fast. I didn't even went through a quarter of what I.
Okay, we can do that next time. Not a problem.
We'll do it next time. I have a lot of stuff like urine therapy. Also, I heard lately. I want to talk to you about. But we'll come back with this next Wednesday. We'll be here. Thank you very much, everyone in the chat. This chat was on fire, completely on fire. I have it goes so fast. I can't even read the text. It goes so fast. So big up everyone for the energy, because that's a great energy. That's how we raise the frequency. Like I started to say at the beginning, it's all about raising the frequency and the energy that we pour out into this world. Like, we want good energy, good vibration, truth and stuff. So let's make it happen, people. Boom!
Yes.
We'll be here again next Wednesday. Big up, Prashant.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.